course, talk about the video that I made. Now, I had comments. I definitely want to say thank you for all of those that actually provided feedback. And yeah, all of you were generally pretty respectful to me and also all of the other commenters in there. Thank you very much for that. That's pretty rare, and I think we should continue to do that. Now, one of the things that one of the commenters talked about how he was frustrated, along with myself too, is that, Battlefield 6 has a portal where you can basically kind of create with assets whatever you want on a PC suite through through Battlefield's engine, which is kind of cool. And some people, made like Call of Duty maps, okay, 1-to-1 scales and stuff like that, or just things that are similar. And then Activision has come in and been like, nope, we're gonna copyright this stuff. We're gonna cease and desist type of thing, and get all of this stuff taken down. And so Battlefield is complying with that. And I understand that's frustrating. I agree, content creators should be able to make what they want to make with what they're inspired by. But again, it's like Activision owns the intellectual rights and properties to what they've made from every single Call of Duty. And they have to make a Call of Duty every so often, otherwise they lose those rights, right? And some of these are copyright and trademark, and other parts of it are patents. And so Activision has all of those associated with their Call of Duty stuff. So whether we like it or not, Call of Duty can say, no one else can create our stuff but us, right? Take a look at Nintendo. Nintendo is really well known for that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is, of course, like with Nintendo, their lawsuit, Sony's lawsuit with Tencent with the Horizon game, and then also even this with Subnautica 2. While this is a little different, Subnautica and Crafton are still working on trying to protect their IP, right? But the big thing, the whole point of the video that I made of the codification of Battlefield 6 was to focus on the fact that I'm worried about the skins being the focus and not the game being the focus, not the experience being the focus. And that's kind of the codification that we've seen. Now, it didn't start with Call of Duty, right? There's also been other games that have done it before, but like Team Fortress 2 was one of the first ones, right? You could buy hats for $1 to $5, I think, and so many people bought hats that the game actually became free. That's pretty cool. And again, Team Fortress 2 was just a PC and eventually came over to Xbox type of game. I don't know how many people play that now, but yeah, they made so much stinking money, it was ridiculous. But then more companies started doing this, and we also got to see this with Rainbow Six Siege, right? That was supposed to be Rainbow Six Patriots, actual full campaign and all that, with a multiplayer aspect. But then the Boston Marathon happened. The Boston Marathon bombing happened, and so then they scrapped the campaign and the story and just kept the multiplayer aspect, and they've been running that for 10 years now. And two, the whole focus has, again, become like the skins and the abilities and all of that type of stuff. At least there is some utility there, which is nice. But yeah, well over the majority, again, is just the skins and the looks. And blowing all of those points on a RNG engine to try to get better equipment or whatever in that game. And also there's been Fortnite. I mean, for their 1 year, I think they hit $1 billion in sales, again, selling the cosmetics. And then they also have content creators too. And this is also the same with like Minecraft and all of that stuff. Again, there's plenty of skins. There's plenty of like texture packs and all of this kind of thing. But again, the game is still there in its entirety. But my frustration with making the codification video is that when we take a look at Black Ops 4, like the skins actually looked better. Okay, that's Black Ops 6. But like some of the skins actually looked pretty good. That's also rumored Black Ops 6. But some of these looked fairly good, okay? They weren't perfect. And I even like some of the Black Ops skins, right? They look good. I don't pay for any of them. I just get whatever I can get for free because I'd rather just focus on a game. And that's just me personally. And again, people should be able to choose and play what they want to play. But my issue with the skins, ultimately, is that the skins have gone from being a part of the game to being the focus. And then the content suffers. So, good launch, good focus, good beta, all of this marketing, and then slowly over time, doesn't matter what the IP is. It can be Overwatch, it can be World of Warcraft, it can be, I don't know, it can be Counter-Strike Go, Fortnite, CoD. I mean, it can be a ton of stuff, right? There are so many out there where it started good, it had a good launch, and then it just all became about the skins. And some of these, too, were free to play, right? Like Apex Legends and Fortnite. And that's fine. Free to play, the cosmetics make sense. But when we're spending $70 just to gain entry to a digital store, and they can constantly push to try to get you to just spend money to buy the battle pass. Man, it's incredible just how COD has become with just so many ads all the time everywhere. And again, don't buy it. I don't worry. But again, it's just a frustrating thing. But again, the game has become solely focused on that, and that is the corporate greed. Okay, that is the focus of just what some of these companies are doing. And then eventually, well, they run out of ideas. This was my thing that I mentioned in my other video, which I don't think everyone, watched through, which is okay. It's totally okay. But like Black Ops 4 came out in 2018. This is when we first really got the Battle Pass. So it's been 7 years now, and then we've gotten to this, right? And again, some of these look good. Some of these aren't bad. Some of these you can still earn in game, which is nice. But, we have Santa Claus, and some of these, they like these skins because they can kind of troll players and look like a joke and whatever. But again, we have just focused on the digital storefront for video games. And again, if it's a free-to-play model, that makes a little bit more sense. But it feels off paying $70. Or, paying for Game Pass, too. There's that. But, like, paying for $70 for a game just to focus on skins. That's kind of weird. And that's what I personally don't like. And there's a lot of IPs that have shifted toward that, right? But again, there's also not enough money to support all of these games. And so this is ultimately my concern with Battlefield, is that they got 7 million copies sold in 3 days. Really good start. But I think they're going to have trouble hitting 15 million sales. Definitely 20. I don't think they'll get to 20. And the reason that's a concern is because I don't know if 10 or 15 million is really enough for them, because they have 4 big studios working on this game and also working on the post content. And it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. It's going to be expensive. So they got to make some serious money. And even 15 million in sales at 70 or $100 is not even close to being enough to pay for everything. Because again, it doesn't even cover the budget, let alone the marketing and everything else. So the skins are going to become the main focus. That's my belief with Battlefield 6. But again, this is also my concern, because again, the focus becomes the skins and not Battlefield. Again, the focus becomes the skins and not Fortnite, or the skins versus Overwatch, or the skins versus Apex. But that's a free-to-play game, that makes sense. So is Overwatch. But some of these, and so is Fortnite. But yeah, so some of these, again, we're paying money for a store of skins. As long as the gameplay is good, as long as there is some content. But this also happened with Destiny 2. Hey, where's all the PvP stuff? Hey, you're sunsetting all of the content. Hey, you're changing Forge. You're changing the difficulty. You're changing the raids. And the same thing can happen with Battlefield 6. That's my concern. So I like the way Battlefield 6 is, generally speaking. Yes, I do definitely think it's an improvement. Thank you, too, for commenting on that. And yeah, someone else said that there was kind of just like this nitpicky of everything. Again, that's not what I'm trying to do here. I just want a really fun Battlefield for me to enjoy and not have to worry about how much more content we're going to get that's just cosmetic focused and just not get much for the actual game itself. Again, we'll have to see how Season 1 goes. We have the roadmap, and we're going to get like 3 maps and a game mode. Okay, that's really not a lot going down the line. How many seasons do they expect? And also, too, with the longevity of some of these games, some people will always play them, but holy smokes, when you're trying to push a game for 10 years, again, you just run out of ideas, and you're subjected to this. You're subjected to skill-based matchmaking being cranked up to 1 million so that you can just sweat the whole time. And again, that's not necessarily what I want in a video game. And I feel like every single FPS and third-person shooter has just turned into this. And I don't think that's great. I don't think it's great for the game. I don't think it's great for the community either. But again, if there's things to grind for, this is something I appreciated with Black Ops 6, is that there was a ton of stuff to actually grind for just by playing the game. That's cool. And there was also a lot of stuff to buy. That was great. But boy, sometimes it's like, I don't want the storefront. to get in the way of the game actually being made and designed. And again, I don't think it's the studios making that decision. I think it's the publisher. And how many publishers have literally destroyed games just in the last 5 years? And again, there's not enough money to support this all. Also, too, I was just curious. I understand this is player counts and time played, and this is not all encompassing. And I mean, I get all of that. But again, you can look at the trend to get kind of an idea of what's going on. Battlefield 6 on Steam, 7.5 or 750,000 players booted up on launch. That's a ton. And it very quickly fell off. This is the first weekend here, roughly. And then we're into the next weekend now. This is Saturday. And again, it's just like, God, did we literally just lose half already? That's crazy. Did they go to COD? Nope. No, they didn't. This is the 10th. You had about 60,000 on launch. It went up a little bit and then just fell off again. And now this average is actually lower than the 50,000 mark. So, and again, COD, let me just show. I mean, you can see down here, but like COD has been dying, right, for a long time. And this is like the lowest it's ever been. And this is kind of what Destiny looks like, actually. Destiny 2. Would you take a look at PlayStation Time Tracker? Again, this is just 15,000 hardcore gamers, right, that care about this stuff. And these are the people, too, that watch our videos, whether it's Blame Truth, Nero Cinemark, or myself or anybody else. But again, the player counts, Battlefield 6 is lower than I expected. This is 2 weeks after launch, folks. We're sitting at 1,200. Player counts for other games that beat it. Roblox at 3,300. Fortnite at 4,800. We also have Skate at 38. Minecraft at 29. Call of Duty is double, just about. Grand Theft Auto, almost double again. Rocket League, 1,900. Even Rainbow Six and Rivals is actually beating the player count. So Battlefield, again, they sold 7 million copies. But I think a lot of COD players were willing to try it. And again, I think I was right. They don't like Battlefield. And so, yeah, they're going to go back, right? So Battlefield 6 never killed COD. Let me just put that out there. The other thing, now to be fair, something is weird with the most hours played for Xbox. And the thing that's weird about it is that Battlefield 6 doesn't show up. I have actually looked through all 464 games, and this basically records hours played on a running 7-day total. But we can see, again, that it's Fortnite, it's Madden 26, and again, this is just for Series X. Minecraft, Roblox, college football, Ready or Not. I do want to try that one. And then COD, again, is in the top 7. It's definitely in the top 10 already, again. During the beta, it was like 15, top 20. And that was the same, too, on PlayStation Time Tracker during the beta. A ton of people wanted to try the beta. It was incredible. It was incredible. And again, I would expect Battlefield to be in the top 10. We just don't see that. So that means that FC would get kicked out. Burp, you're done. But again, these are basically the same games that are just played over and over and over again. And as the demand to try to get more money and revenue through the door doesn't really happen, again, I think Battlefield is going to focus on just trying to make up more skins, trying to figure out what sells, what doesn't. And this is literally what happened to Call of Duty. Okay? We had a more realistic type of game. We had a kind of like better movement to a degree. And there had to be team tactics and stuff. And I personally like that. I think that's great. But again, the focus just became the skins and not the game. And I definitely think the game suffers for that. And I think Battlefield, unfortunately, is going to go through the same thing. I sure hope not. But this is what happened with Battlefield 2042 and also Battlefield 5. I think peak Battlefield, at least for console, was Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. Those were really fun. A lot of time in those. But we also used to have content packs or DLCs. Where you got your maps, you got your guns, you got some of your gear, you got some of this other stuff that you could pay for, and all of it basically had utility. And then the pre-order bonuses were cosmetics, right? Well, now we've totally shifted to content packs, where it's just cosmetics. And that's what they're trying to sell you. And none of it really goes over to the next year or the next game or whatever. And so, yeah, think of just all of the money you've spent on Fortnite, on CoD, on Apex Legends, all the money maybe you spent on X Defiant, you know? And this is the issue partly too with live service. There's no guarantee that the game will even take off. I feel bad for people too that even spent money in Concord. 12 days, it's over. But I just don't want Battlefield to go that way. It might anyway. And everyone has different opinions, and that's okay. This is why we have videos. This is why we have conversations. This is why we have the comments section. And right now, I think Battlefield's really fun. It's one of the best ones that we've had in a decade. I think it's great. I think it's really good. It's fun. Campaign, different story. I'll have a review on that a little bit later. But this is the thing that I ultimately worry about, is that, yeah, Battlefield is going to just, they're going to make the initial money. They're going to enjoy it. They're not going to see the sales that they want. And then they'll be like, well, more skins. God, I hope not. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you guys on the next one.